Hello ratbags, it's Jade. Welcome to a No Man's Sky Beyond tutorial today. The update has hit. You guys are busy exploring all the new content and features added to No Man's Sky, including taming pets. Now, you've been able to tame pets in the past and have done things like show you exotic treasures or exotic resources in and around the area, and sometimes even defend you. But right now you can do a lot more. The pets are now milkable. You can get eggs from them or get certain bonus resources collected from them if you tame them with the right type of food. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do that and also how you can ride them. Also going to show you some of the more advanced technology stations you can use to harvest the resources from them and basically keep them going in and around your base. So don't forget to like the video, really help me out, and make sure you click notifications on for the best in survival game news, and let's go. So first of all, summon the anomaly. You should know by now it's the new hub center where you can go and buy all sorts of different blueprints, meet up with other players, take part in other missions, summon it, head towards it, and you'll find a merchant that sells you a nutrition station. This is what you're going to need to make the bait that you're going to require for certain creatures. It'll be at a workstation like this, or one of the aliens will have it, and you can see you can buy all sorts of structures. You'll find the nutrition station just underneath the save beacon blueprint. So you've got to buy that one. That's 2 metal plate-ins and 15 sodium nitrate. And it's another 2 metal plate-ins for the processor, a hermet seal, and 25 sodium. Not completely necessary straight away, but if you've got the resources, 4 metal plates, an oxygen filter, 10 creature fillets, and you'll find the automatic feeder, and the livestock unit will also be useful. That's another 4 metal plate-ins, 2 polyfiber, and 50 facium, which is basically alien poo. So like I said, if you've got the resources, go ahead, but otherwise you probably have to come back here once you've actually got the feces from some of the aliens. I know it's not a great term, but that's what it is. They want you to trade in poo. Once you've got all that stuff, head back to your planet, obviously, where you've got some creatures, and you're going to get busy scanning the creatures to see what they need. You also need to make sure it is a home planet or it's got a base beacon on the planet, otherwise you might not be able to actually start putting down the processing unit so that you can actually do it. As you can see, No Man's Sky is still a little bit buggy at the moment. Scan the creatures as normal, and what you'll find is they'll give you the information about what pellets they want or what lure or bait. There are 9 different types of bait, the most basic being pellets. These you can craft in your exo inventory, and they take 10 carbon to make 1 batch. This is how you get the facurium, or basically the alien poo. Pop this around and any aliens nearby will come towards you, and it'll give you the opportunity to get their poo once they're full and content. If you use any type of weapon or you hit the aliens, you may have to feed them more pellets to calm them down, but as you can see, you throw it like that using the D-pad to access it, and they'll all come running to it. All the aliens will always go for that basic pellet. It's just to make them poo, so you can study and see what else they're going to need. Also, on top of that, the poo really is a vital ingredient. You need it for every type of the advanced bait. Once they've eaten, they'll say they're either recently fed or they're quite happy, feeling content, etc. And now you just got to wait for the magic to happen. As you can see, this one needs enzyme fluid. That's one of the 9 baits that you need, so you can start taming them and getting lots of resources that you can future sell on. Now, it does list their favourite food, nip buds, and so there are lots of different varieties of plants and stuff that the aliens will eat, but you can make enzyme fluid out of a bunch of different plants. What you'll find is that the ingredients needed for the bait will usually be very close to the aliens. You don't normally have to go to other planets to go get them unless you're really unlucky and it's a very barren planet. Anywho, start picking up all the poo and basically make sure you've got enough so you can craft lots of the bait in a second. If you do need a bit of help finding certain ingredients, go ahead and look in your catalogue, and it will list all of the bait items that you've unlocked, and it will hopefully give you directions of where to find it, or check the discoveries tab just to give you a little bit of extra help if you really are having trouble. But normally when you've scanned a creature, it will highlight exactly what bait it is after feeding them the very basic pellets. Pop your nutrition analyzer down and start mixing up some of the foods. Now, there's 300 food recipes. You can use it to make all sorts of other food types that you need as well, but we're just concentrating on the bait today. I found a local plant that was literally just in and around these creatures, and I'm mixing it with the poo, and as you can see, it's making one of the new baits, which is a fermented fruit. Go ahead and cook up what you need and you'll have enough of the advanced bait to tame the creatures that obviously wanted that bait. Like I said, you will maybe have to go around and find lots of plants in and around the area and just see which one works and which one's going to make up the bait that you need, but use the actual catalogue to help you along with that. The one we need at the moment is the enzyme fluid, which results in the ice cold tubes as well as the poo. Mix that together and it will make the enzyme fluid that we need. You can see also if you take the poo out, it will just make some other food that you can actually eat and give you a little bonus or a buff. Once you've got it cooked, simply pop it in your exosuit or in your storage and you're ready to roll and go and get yourself your pet. Here's what happened when I chucked one down. Remember using the D-pad and you'll find it on the left hand side where you've got the options and you can just chuck it down. You can feed them directly as well if you go up to one pet and just press the square button, it should do it, or the X button on the Xbox One. And instead of receiving poo when you fed them just normal pellets, you will actually get a resource from them. It's either eggs or it can sometimes be a substance or it can be milk, and you'll get all of these items when you go up to it and just press the square or the X button. Now of course if you want to ride them and it's a little bit derpy, you can do. You've got to hold the X button on the PlayStation or the A button on the Xbox, but be warned, smaller creatures actually can't take your weight. A couple times now I've jumped on smaller ones and have ended up dying. I don't know if it's a glitch, but that's what's happened if they're too small. You can see I'm trying to do a little third person view. It's derpy, it does need a little bit of work, and I'm sure it looks a lot better on some of the bigger creatures, but something silly, something a little bit to do. It is a good way to actually farm. Some of the resources that you can get are really expensive, and you do find some rare creatures. Your chances are you can actually make a real good money making farm from doing this, hence why there is some new crafting stations to help you harvest them. Pretty much lots of the creatures will like the same sort of bait, so you'll find that they'll all like the enzyme if one of them does, but you do have to be a bit peculiar or particular sometimes, and so it may take a little bit more browsing around for the right plant for certain creatures. These guys wanted sweet compost and that's what drove them absolutely mad, and they were definitely a lot more interesting to ride, or they looked the part as well. Lots of creatures obviously move quicker, and so depending on how they maneuver, you can actually use them to get across the map, running around and just gathering resources a lot quicker if they do have a good top speed. But it sure isn't pretty sometimes, literally just bobbing around on their neck. They literally must have the sorest neck going. So far I've not found a way to keep the aliens. They do generally despawn once you've jumped off them, and the bait doesn't last forever. Eventually they will just kind of wander off, or like I said, they will despawn. So I'm not 100% sure if there's a way of keeping them. Maybe you can make a pen, that might work, but I do think the game at the moment is kind of wiping them out after a few minutes, as 3 or 4 times while making this video the flocks of creatures just disappeared after I was doing something in my inventory. Of course, this does mean then that you can't actually transfer them to other planets. As you would expect, some planets don't have the right atmosphere for them, so they'll only work on certain planets that they're actually born to. You're not going to be able to transfer them to other planets. So the 9 pieces of bait are scented herbs, enzyme fluid, fermented fruit, sweetened compost, frenetic or kinetic worms, ground meat, hormone sacs and bloody organs. With the FCA, I'm going to keep saying it wrong, I'm just going to call it the poo pellets as being the basic baits that you need to start it all off. Clearly there's 4 that are for herbivore aliens and 4 that are for carnivorous aliens. You can tame the carnivorous ones. If you don't happen to have any of the favoured bait or the advanced bait they want, just chucking some of the poo pellets down will actually stop them aggroing on you if you accidentally do get them aggroed, or they are just coming after you for blood. So well worth making sure you've always got some on you while you're exploring planets. So I am in creative mode, as you can guess, just to show you for quickness, and because I didn't actually have a decent save to show you guys, but we're going to be focusing on the tools or the crafting stations that are going to help you. You're going to need an oxygen filter, 10 creature pellets and 4 metal platings. Obviously as well, you've got to have unlocked the blueprint that I showed you earlier at the anomaly. This is the feeder. This automatically feeds any pets, any creatures in and around you, and it will feed them the advanced bait. So this is how you're going to make them happy. It is going to require some power, so I'm going to pop down a bio generator right here and connect it up with wires, and you should be able to good to go. Once it's fully powered up, go and click on the inventory on the automatic feeder and pop in the bait that you want. So obviously this is where you've got to be careful about how many or where you're placing them. Generally you're doing this for quickness, so you kind of know exactly what bait it is, what creatures are in and around this area, and you can see it chucks it all out for the creatures to come get it. Just happens to be that it wasn't the right bait for these guys. Next up, we need 4 metal platings, 2 polyfiber and 50 facium, 50 alien poo. This is how you're going to start gathering the resources from them without having to go up to every single pet. Again, make sure it's all powered up and simply just leave it there. As long as the aliens are getting fed close by and they come within proximity, they should start filling the livestock unit up with the items that they're dropping. And that is pretty much it. Everything you need to know about taming, how to farm the creatures, and everything that is to do with the baits. Like I said, it shouldn't be too hard to find ingredients for the baits unless you're really unlucky and it's a planet that doesn't have a lot of vegetation. You may have to go off-world, but normally the planets are linked with the creatures and the fauna that spawns, so you can find the right stuff for them creatures nearby. Just use your visor, scan for any leaves, and you should be able to start seeing some of these come out once you've got your livestock unit going, like wild milk and crab apples. There are a whole host of different items you can get, and as you can see, they're worth a fair amount of units, or as ingredients to make more recipes that could be worth even more just for exploring. I hope this guide has helped you out. If it has, make sure you give it a like and expect some more No Man's Sky videos coming soon, including how to power up your base. I'm JADE-PLAYS-GAMES. I give you the best in survival guides, tutorials, news and gameplay, and I'll see you rat bags very soon. Bye bye.